The situation with Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys contract negotiations has been dragging on for a while now, and it's starting to wear on the patience of fans and analysts alike. Right now, the Cowboys appear to be in no rush to finalize an extension with Parsons, and the consensus among insiders is that the team will likely circle back to serious talks only when training camp kicks off. This laid-back approach feels a bit tone-deaf considering Parsons is one of the brightest defensive stars in the league, arguably in his prime, and the Cowboys have had months to get a deal done, waiting until the 11th hour to settle a contract of this magnitude strikes many as a questionable business move. The reality is summer tends to be a lull period in the NFL's calendar. Team executives often take a breather, some heading off on vacation or stepping back from day-to-day negotiations. It's not unusual for contract talks to slow down during this time, but for a player of Parsons' caliber, it's frustrating to see a lack of urgency. The norm for the Cowboys, historically, has been to finalize these significant deals late in the summer or early fall. Dak Prescott's big contract, CeeDee Lamb's extension, and others all followed this pattern. Yet just because it's the norm doesn't mean it's the best strategy. Prolonging these discussions risks losing cap space and potentially creates unnecessary distractions for the team. One of the biggest downsides of dragging out negotiations is the financial cost. Cap space is a finite resource, and the longer a team waits to sign a player to a new contract, the more money that player might earn under the franchise tag or in a short-term deal, which can be more expensive than a long-term agreement. Plus, the uncertainty surrounding a key player's future can affect team chemistry and planning. Micah Parsons is not just any player. He's a game changer on defense, and having his contract unresolved could weigh on the minds of teammates and coaches alike. There's also an optics issue here. When a team's top talent is left in limbo, it sends a message that their importance might not be fully appreciated or prioritized. Fans and media pick up on that, and it can fuel speculation about trades or holdouts. We've seen this pattern with other big Cowboys contracts. Not only Parsons, but also players like Tank Lawrence. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper have experienced delayed extensions that ultimately cost the team both money and goodwill. In a league as competitive as the NFL, that kind of hesitation is usually a recipe for frustration. On the flip side, some argue that patience can be a strategic tool. Negotiating a massive contract requires careful cap management and timing, especially given the complex nature of NFL salary caps, guaranteed money, and potential restructures. Teams sometimes wait for the right moment to strike to maximize their flexibility and avoid hamstringing their roster building. But when patience turns into procrastination, it's a problem. For Micah Parsons, whose talent and impact have only grown since he entered the league, the clock is ticking, and every week that passes without a deal in place adds pressure. Looking at the bigger picture, the money Parsons is likely to command is staggering. When he does sign, he will become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. To put that in context, the record for highest average annual value has been shattered multiple times this offseason, with players like Justin Jefferson, Max Crosby, Daniel Hunter, Myles Garrett, and Jamar Chase all signing deals in the $30 to $40 million per year range. Parsons is expected to exceed those marks. TJ Watt, for example, could potentially outpace Parsons or Chase depending on how his deal is structured. But the guaranteed money, which often carries more weight in negotiations, is a key factor. That guaranteed portion can be the sticking point, as teams try to balance rewarding elite talent while protecting themselves financially. The dynamic around TJ Watt's contract is somewhat parallel, with similar delays and high stakes. But Parsons' case is unique because he is in his mid-20s, entering the prime of his career, and is a defensive force unlike many others. The timing of his deal not only affects the Cowboys, but also influences the market for top defensive players across the league. Once Parsons signs, his contract will likely set the benchmark for all defensive players who follow. Moving beyond Parsons, the Cowboys front office also has to juggle other important extensions and signings. One player drawing attention is Tyler Smith, a guard who's quickly becoming one of the best at his position in the NFL. The Cowboys have the luxury of some time here, thanks to the fifth-year option on Smith's rookie contract. But his situation is tied closely to what happens with Trey Smith on the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey's contract negotiations are nearing completion, and whatever deal he signs will set the precedent for Tyler Smith's potential extension. The highest paid guard in the league right now is a tricky title because Trey Smith is currently on the franchise tag, which is a 1-year high-cost contract. That tag money, over $23 million, puts pressure on the market for guards. Tyler Smith's case is compelling because his performance justifies top-tier pay. If he's one of the best guards, the Cowboys will want to lock him up accordingly. That means Tyler Smith could become the highest paid guard in the league once Trey Smith's deal is finalized. The financial landscape for offensive linemen is evolving rapidly, and the Cowboys management needs to navigate these waters carefully to keep their offensive line strong without overspending or creating future cap problems. Contract negotiations for players like Tyler Smith often extend into the following offseason. It wouldn't be surprising if the Cowboys wait until next year to finalize his deal, especially considering the complexities involved with Trey Smith's situation and the evolving salary cap. That kind of patience can be strategic, but again, it's a balancing act between timing and maintaining player confidence and focus. Stephon Gilmore, a veteran cornerback currently a free agent, adds another layer to this offseason story. Despite being unsigned, Gilmore has made it clear he wants to play this upcoming season, but is holding out for the right situation. The key questions around Gilmore are about role, money, and team fit. He isn't interested in just any minimum contract or a backup role. He wants meaningful playing time and a chance to compete for wins. That means he's likely waiting to see how rosters shape up across the league, especially as injuries or changes to depth charts could open opportunities. For teams in need of cornerback help, Gilmore represents a valuable option, particularly for clubs that lack confidence in their outside corners. His experience and skill set could provide stability and mentorship in the secondary. However, given his age and status, Gilmore is unlikely to be a long-term solution, but more of a situational boost for teams on the cusp of contention. The timing for Gilmore's signing might mirror that of last year, potentially happening closer to the start of the season when teams finalize their rosters and injuries begin to impact depth charts. From Gilmore's perspective, waiting allows him to find a fit where he can contribute significantly without getting stuck on a struggling team or buried on the depth chart. All these pieces, Parsons, Tyler Smith, and Gilmore, paint a picture of a Cowboys offseason filled with important decisions, complicated negotiations, and strategic timing. The front office is trying to balance player demands, cap constraints, and team needs while navigating the unique challenges of NFL contracts. The pressure to get these deals done is intense, but the stakes are even higher given how these players impact the team's competitive outlook. What remains clear is that the Cowboys, like many teams, must find a way to balance urgency with strategy. Waiting too long to sign Parsons or other key players risks not only financial strain, but also disrupts the team's rhythm and focus heading into the season. Yet rushing into contracts without careful planning could also create cap issues down the line. It's a delicate dance, and the Cowboys' success in the coming years may hinge on how well they execute this balance. With the NFL's evolving salary landscape, the Cowboys' approach to these contracts will also signal to other players and agents how much the team values its stars. These deals set a tone for the franchise's ambition and stability. For fans watching closely, the hope is that the front office wakes up to the urgency this offseason demands and avoids repeating past mistakes of delay and hesitation. The ongoing saga of the Dallas Cowboys contract negotiations is not just about individual players. It's a microcosm of the challenges NFL teams face as they try to balance elite talent retention with financial sustainability and roster flexibility. The landscape in the NFL is becoming increasingly complex, with escalating player salaries, intricate contract structures, and the ever-looming salary cap acting as a tightrope for general managers and front offices. For a franchise like Dallas, which carries both massive expectations and a high-profile status, the stakes are particularly high. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers are growing louder in Dallas, and if the latest buzz holds any weight, the Cowboys may have just pulled off one of the most intriguing moves of the offseason. Rumors are swirling that tight end Darnell Washington is already donning the star, yes, that star, as he reportedly joins the Cowboys in what insiders are calling a potential game-changing addition to the offense. While official confirmation remains under wraps, several sources close to the situation hint that the deal is as good as done. Washington, known for his massive frame, elite blocking skills, and sneaky receiving prowess, could be the missing piece in Mike McCarthy's evolving scheme. At 6'7" and over 260 pounds, he's a mismatch nightmare. And if anyone knows how to exploit mismatches, it's Dak Prescott. With a quarterback hungry to silence critics and prove he can lead Dallas deep into the playoffs, adding a target like Washington could be exactly what the offense needs to break through. The whispers suggest Washington could have an immediate impact, especially in red zone situations where the Cowboys struggled with consistency last season. Some around the star have gone as far as to say that Washington could quickly climb the depth chart and become a featured weapon, even with other promising tight ends already on the roster. His rare combination of size, athleticism, and physicality might make it hard for coaches to keep him off the field. While fans eagerly await official word, the rumor alone has sparked a wave of optimism and speculation among Cowboys Nation. Could this be the under-the-radar move that transforms the Dallas offense? If Washington lives up to the hype, opposing defenses better be on high alert. The Cowboys may have just added a weapon that's as underrated as he is unstoppable. Stay tuned. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.